Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan, coming up in the next hour. Indian Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi puts light on Operation Sindur preparation and execution, describes operation strategy as similar to playing chess. Prime Minister Modi to visit Karnataka today, giving a boost to the state's infrastructure, will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of urban connectivity projects. Ahead of Trump-Putin meet in Alaska on Friday, JD Vance and Lammy host Ukraine talks, while EU leaders stress need to protect Ukrainian security interests. And wildfires rage across southern Europe amid record temperatures, with thousands under evacuation orders. Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi has spoken publicly for the first time about the planning and execution of Operation Sindur during the inauguration of Indian Army Research Cell at IIT Madras earlier this week. The Army Chief described the operation strategy as similar to playing chess. He said Operation Sindur operated in a grey zone, unpredictable and just short of a full conventional military engagement.
And of Sindur, what we did, we played chess. Now, what does it mean? It means we did not know what is the next move the enemy is going to take and what are we going to do. This is something we called about the grey zone. Grey zone is that we are not going for the conventional operations, but we are doing something which is just short of the conventional operations. Conventional operations means go with everything, Clausewitzian approach. Take whatever you have. And if you are able to come back, it's okay, otherwise stay there. But that is the thing which we talk about the conventional approach. Here the grey zone is any activity which is taking place in all domains. That is something which we are talking about, and Op Sindur taught us that. That this is the grey zone, so we were making the chess moves. He was also making the chess moves. Somewhere we were giving him checkmate and somewhere we were kind of going in for the kill at the risk of even losing our own, but that's the way life is all about.
Began on 23rd April when the three service chiefs and the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh agreed that decisive action was needed.
22nd April, you're aware what happened in Pahalgam, and it actually shocked the nation. 23rd is the time when next day itself, we all sat down. And this is the first time which RM has also said, I think enough is enough. And all the three chiefs were very clear, something has to be done. And the free hand was given, of course, that you decide what is to be done. And that is the kind of a confidence with the political directions and political clarity for the first time we saw. And that's what made a difference, because we want to do a lot, but that kind of hand-holding and kind of free, no terms of restrictions, if I can say that. And that is what kind of raises up your morale. And that is how it helped our army commanders or commander-in-chiefs on ground to kind of act as per their wisdom.
And Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh on Saturday said that India shot down 5 Pakistani fighter jets during Operation Sindur. Apart from the 5 jets, 1 large airborne early warning and control or early warning aircraft was also destroyed. IAF chief also called S-400 a game changer.
In a decisive military and intelligence-led campaign, India launched Operation Sindur on May 7th in response to a heinous terrorist attack on April 22nd that shook the nation. India's response under Operation Sindur was precise. The operation targeted 9 verified terror camps along the line of control and deeper inside Pakistani territory. Air Chief Marshal AP Singh said that India shot down 5 Pakistani fighter jets and 1 other military aircraft. He said, "We have 5 confirmed kills and 1 large aircraft which could be either an Elint or an AEW&C aircraft which was taken on at a distance of 300 kilometers. This is actually the largest ever recorded surface-to-air kill that we can talk about."
We have at least 5 fighters confirmed kills and 1 large aircraft, which could be either an Lint aircraft or an AWNC aircraft, which was taken on at a distance of about 300 kilometers. This is the actually largest ever recorded surface-to-air kill that we can talk about.
Calling S-400 a game changer, Indian Air Chief Marshal also said that Pakistan was unable to penetrate the surface-to-air missile system. He said, "Our air defense systems did a wonderful job. The S-400 system, which we had recently bought, has been a game changer. The range of that system has really kept their aircraft away from their weapons like long-range glide bombs that they have. They've not been able to use any of those because they've not been able to penetrate the system." India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, during a debate in Parliament on July 28th, termed it a tactical strike against state-sponsored terrorism.
हमारी सेनाओं द्वारा की गई वेल कोऑर्डिनेटेड स्ट्राइक्स ने 9 टेररिस्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर टारगेट्स को प्रिसीजन के साथ, सटीकता के साथ हिट किया। और इस सैन्य कार्रवाई में एक अनुमान के अनुसार 100 से अधिक आतंकवादी, मैं बहुत संभल कर बोल रहा हूं अध्यक्ष महोदय, हमारी फिगर गलत ना होने पाए, फिगर इससे बहुत अधिक है, 100 से अधिक आतंकवादी, उनके ट्रेनर, उनके प्रशिक्षक, उनके हैंडलर, लश्कर-ए-तोयबा और हिजबुल मुजाहिदीन जैसे आतंकवादी संगठनों से संबंधित थे। ये वही आतंकी संगठन हैं जिन्होंने पाकिस्तान की सेना और ISI का जिन्हें खुला समर्थन प्राप्त है।
Operation Sindur wasn't just retaliation. It marked a new policy direction. By striking both terrorists and their enablers, India challenged the long-standing narrative of separating state from terror actors.
I want to say, which one of you imagined that Bawalpur and Muridke would be brought down the way it was? Which one of you thought? When did you even think of it during your tenure? Did it even cross your mind? In fact, on the contrary, you ruled it out after 26/11. So, I think our objectives are very clear. We wanted to send a message to the terrorists. We wanted to send a message to Pakistan that do not continue this support for terrorism. And I think on the morning of 7th of May, that message went home loud and clear.
Through this operation, Prime Minister Modi sent out a clear message. Terror and talks cannot go together. On May 10th at 1700 hours IST, Pakistan's DGMO contacted his Indian counterpart in an emergency call and agreed to a full ceasefire across land, air and sea. India's armed forces continue to operate in a state of high alert, signaling an unwavering commitment to national integrity and counter-terrorism. Bureau Report, DD India.
All right, my colleague Akshay Dongre joins me live to talk more on this. Akshay, Air Chief Marshal yesterday, now Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi has spoken about the planning and execution of Operation Sindur and the damage caused to Pakistan during the Indian strikes. Tell us how significant are their statements and information also, and also the timing. How important is the timing?
Well, the timing, yes, is coming after approximately, you can say, 3 months of these entire activities, including the conflict, the terror attack, the destruction of Pakistani air bases, is also because the Operation Sindur still continues. So the government has never ended Operation Sindur. It still continues. It will continue for a foreseeable future till the time we are sure that we have destroyed the terror infra inside Pakistan that can pose any kind of threat to India and Indians. So the timing is well calculated also because we did not want to jump the gun. We had to first verify all the facts, come with an entire understanding of what all happened, and then make a calculated assessment and then go to the public to inform them properly that what exactly happened, and that's what is being done right now. So there is no timing as such, but whenever they could, as soon as possible, verify all the facts. They have, come in front of the public and giving all the facts as far as the shooting down of Pakistani air bases are concerned or the other things. So unlike media, the government is not jumping a conclusion, because that's what many did in the initial beginnings of the Operation Sindur. Several wrong assessments were also made. So the government did not want to do that. The government wanted to stick to facts, make an assessment and then come to the public, so that whatever claims that we make are irrefutable, even by the international community, because there was a lot of it's called fog of war. So generally, the serious players do not come out in fog of war and try to spread information or misinformation. Opposite to what Pakistan did, they had no proof of anything, and they had been claiming of Indian fighters being shot down, which was absolutely false. All the claims that were being made. They also made claims that Udhampur base has been attacked, and Prime Minister Adhampur base has been attacked. PM himself went there to refute all the false narrative of Pakistan. So the timing is absolutely fine. But as far as the government is concerned, it remains quite serious as far as the objectives of Operation Sindoor are concerned. Back to you, Abhishek.
All right, so political will, clear directions and no restrictions. We'll leave it at that. Thank you for your input, Sakshay. Moving on to our next story, an encounter broke out in North Indian Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar in early hours on Sunday. The alert Indian troops established contact with terrorists in general area of Dool in Kishtwar in early Sunday morning. The troops were carrying out an intelligence-based operation when they established contact with terrorists. During the operation, both sides exchanged gunfire. More details are awaited as the operation is still under progress. And the encounter in Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam district entered its 10th day today. 2 Indian Army soldiers martyred in a marathon combat with terrorists. Over the past 10 days, few soldiers have sustained injuries during the gun battle, one of the longest ever. The forces are also using drones and attack helicopters to weed out the terrorists who appear to be well trained in jungle warfare. Also, an encounter has broken out in Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir's Kishtwar area. All right, for more information, we'll go across to Shabir Dar, who is in Srinagar. Shabir, first of all, we'll talk about the encounter that breaks out in Kishtwar. What's the latest you can tell us? How many terrorists are hiding?
The Kishtwar encounter started in the wee hours today when the forces had a specific information about the terrorists hiding in the forest area in Dul Kishtwar. Remember, this is an operation based specifically on the intelligence input about the presence of terrorists, and it is believed that 1 or 2 terrorists are trapped in this operation, and the firing is going on from both sides as we speak. So. Yes, there has been an uptick in the anti-terror operations in Jammu and Kashmir. We already know that the longest, operation in the recent history of Kashmir's insurgency is happening in Kulgam's Akhal area. And Akhal again is a forest area where the forces are facing a tough operation challenges, given the fact that the dense foliage and the terrorists are believed to be hiding up the hill via the deep ridges, and the dense foliage is making it a difficult operation for the forces to carry on. But the security forces, including the army, CRPF, and Jammu and Kashmir police, are making every effort to to ensure that the operation is brought to its logical conclusion as early as possible. That's why we have seen the unmanned aerial vehicles, drones, helicopters, thermal imaging devices, and other modern tech surveillance equipments are being used to pinpoint the terrorists and neutralize them with precision and with strategic clarity. Yes.
All right, Shabir, thank you for getting us the latest on both the encounters. Still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. INS Sandhya docks in Singapore on National Day, strengthening maritime ties. Monsoon rains continue to lash parts of North India, also picking up pace in northwestern states. And we'll get you the latest on the progress of the rescue operations in Dharali and Harshil villages.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Prime Minister Modi will be in Bengaluru on Sunday to flag off the Bengaluru-Belgavi Vande Bharat Express and inaugurate the Yellow Line Metro to Electronic City, marking a major boost to Karnataka's rail and metro connectivity. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya with this report.
Bengaluru is set for a double boost in connectivity this Sunday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be in the city to flag off Karnataka's 11th Vande Bharat Express, connecting Bengaluru and Belagavi. The high-speed service will slash travel time, bringing comfort and reliability to passengers commuting between North Karnataka and the state capital.
कर्नाटका में जो बिजनेस सेंटर्स हैं और जो कल्चरल सेंटर्स हैं और टूरिस्ट, वो इतना ज़्यादा पोटेंशियल है जो अनटैप्ड था. वो वंदे भारत एक ऐसा इंस्ट्रूमेंट बना है कि जो इन तीनों तरह के टूरिज़म, बिजनेस और नॉर्मल पीपल टू पीपल कांटेक्ट, इनको बढ़ावा देने में बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट रोल प्ले करेगा.
Prime Minister will also board the new Yellow Line Metro to Electronic City. Built at a cost of 7,610 crore rupees, the 19.15 kilometer corridor links central Bengaluru to the city's southern industrial hub through 16 stations, including Silk Board Junction. The Yellow Line is expected to ease congestion, cut travel time and boost public transport usage, connecting Bengaluru's homes with its IT and biotech heartlands.
This is a very big event where Honorable PM will inaugurate this line. This is about 19-kilometer long section. We are having 16 stations on it, and it is passing through the electronic city, and very big IT sector industries are there in this corridor, and we are very much hopeful that it will help people to commute, and this will be a very good addition to the Bengaluru infrastructure.
With this, Namma Metro's network will stretch to 96 kilometers, cementing its place as India's second largest metro system after Delhi. It is a Sunday of speed, connectivity and transformation for Karnataka.
With faster train and a new metro line, Karnataka takes a big leap in connectivity and commuter comfort. A transformative day indeed for Bengaluru's transport network. With camera person Kashyap and Monty Singh, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Bangalore.
Meanwhile, preparations are underway at the KSR railway station in Bengaluru ahead of PM Modi's visit. India's Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav on Saturday toured the Vande Bharat Express to be flagged off by Prime Minister Modi. On Sunday, PM Modi will flag off Vande Bharat Express train between Belagavi and Bengaluru. Speaking to reporters, the Railway Minister said the Vande Bharat train will provide very good connectivity to North Karnataka and Bengaluru, which is the IT capital of the country. Two more trains will also be flagged off on the occasion. One will connect Katra Vaishno Devi to Amritsar, while the other one will connect Nagpur and Pune in Maharashtra. All right, we'll go across to DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya. He joins us live from Bengaluru. Good morning, Tapas. Prime Minister Modi in Karnataka today will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of urban connectivity projects. Tell us, how big is this for Karnataka and how will this be a major boost to the state's infrastructure?
There is no denying the fact that this particular event, and Prime Minister is coming out around 1 o'clock at the Triple IT Bangalore, where he will be laying the foundations and as well as will inaugurate the existing infrastructure line, including the metro phase 2. The 90-kilometer line that is there from Ragigudda to Bombasandra, and this is expected to be a major game changer for Bangalore, the city which has struggled over the years when it comes to traffic jam, snarl, connectivity. That has been the major bone of contention in Bangalore. But we believe that after this. After the completion of the phase 2, after the completion of the phase 2 of the Bangalore Metro, things will be absolutely smooth, and this it is after Prime Minister inaugurate this particular phase, Bangalore Metro will become one of the most sought after metro. In fact, in terms of connectivity, in terms of the depth, it has the after Delhi Metro, it is second in number. It has already covered almost more than 90 kilometers of a metro track. So after Delhi Metro, this is one of the most densely covered metro services in the country. And then the Prime Minister is also expected to lay the foundation for the phase 3 of the metro line, which is expected to be again a major game changer. Just to put it in perspective, the whole city will be encircled with the metro connectivity, and also the plan is to get it connected to the airport there. I have with me Jyoti, who's our correspondent here in Bangalore. Jyoti, Abhishek is there in our studio. He was talking about how imperative this particular metro is, and how this is expected to be a major game changer when it comes to the connectivity. You are a Bangalorean. How difficult it is to travel in Bangalore in private, in your own cab or in your own taxis? It's difficult. It's a nightmare in peak time.
Yeah, obviously 4 years late, yellow metro line it's ready to roll. So the particularly yellow metro line, it will be helpful for the lakhs of employees who working in the electronic city. So, and it's the decongestion of traffic in the Silk Board. The main Silk Board is the main traffic junction. Obviously, the daily routine, the people, the suffering from the traffic in mainly Silk Board. So this particular from RV Road to Bombasandra, it will help to the lakhs of the people.
19-kilometer stretch that is, and 16 stations.
16 stations. As you said, the public transport system, we have huge networking system, public transport and the private cabs. Having all this, despite of having all this, we are suffering from the it will reduce the traveling hours mainly. Obviously, it will.
Just to put it in perspective, the electronic. She mentioned the fact that it will pass through electronic city. Electronic city is what you call the Silicon Valley of not just Bangalore but the whole country. If we talk about the cutting edge technology that is currently going on, the software capital of the world. This is here. It's in the electronic city, and one of the major key demands of the area was to get the connectivity model going. And this particular 16 station, which this particular phase 2 that is expected to cover it, it's expected to be a game changer for lakhs of people who travel or who take who take their own vehicle to and fro. So that's a huge point. Again, Abhishek, the phase 3. That will be another thing that Prime Minister will be laying foundation for, and that is expected to be another major game changer when it comes to Bangalore. It is expected to turn the whole table and make a sea change in Bangalore's infrastructure development.
All right, Tapas, we'll leave it at that. Thank you to you, Tapas, and Jyoti also for telling us about these initiatives. Moving on to our next story, India's ambassador to the United States, Vinay Mohan Kwatra, spoke to US Senator Lindsey Graham to share New Delhi's perspective on energy security. Sharing a social media post on X, Kwatra shared the Indian perspective on energy security with Senator Graham, who previously said that helping US President Donald Trump and the conflict in Ukraine would be the most consequential thing that India could do. On the momentous occasion of Singapore's 60th National Day, Indian Navy's first indigenous survey vessel, large INS Sandhyak, arrived at the vibrant port of Singapore, reinforcing maritime cooperation and shared hydrographic interests between the Indian Navy and Singapore's maritime agencies. The three-day port call also demonstrates India's growing leadership in maritime diplomacy and regional hydrographic capacity building under the Indian Navy's Hydrographic Department framework. INS Sandhyak was commissioned in February 2024 in presence of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. The ship has full-scale coastal and deep-water surveying capacity and is capable of humanitarian operations with onboard helicopter and hospital functions. Time for some weather updates from around the globe. First up from India. Monsoon rains continue to lash parts of North India. The India Met Department has issued alerts for Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Delhi NCR, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The maximum temperature dropped to 26.4 degrees Celsius, marking the coldest August day in 14 years. Monsoon rains have wreaked havoc in Himachal Pradesh as intense downpour over the past few days has resulted in multiple cloudbursts, flash floods and landslides. The prevailing weather conditions have also disrupted transport. Several roads have been closed for vehicular movement across the state. Mandi is among the worst affected districts due to the calamity. The IMD forecast indicates heavy to very heavy rainfall will continue over sub-Himalayan West Bengal, Sikkim, Assam, Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh during the next 7 days. And updates now on national calamity in Uttarakhand's Tharali. The Chief Minister of Northern Himalayan State, Pushkar Singh Dhami, met State Governor, Lieutenant General retired Gurmeet Singh at Raj Bhavan in Dehradun on Saturday. CM Dhami informed the Governor about the current situation in the disaster-hit Tharali and Harshil villages. They also discussed the ongoing relief operations and the rehabilitation of the affected people. The Uttarakhand CM also made an announcement for the rehabilitation and relief of people affected by the recent disasters in Uttarkashi. According to a release by the Chief Minister's office, immediate assistance of Rs 500,000 each will be provided for the rehabilitation of those whose houses have been completely damaged or destroyed by the disaster in village Tharali. Apart from this, the families of those who died in the disaster will also be given an assistance amount of Rs 500,000 each so that they can get financial support in this difficult time. Formation of a 3-member committee has also been announced for rehabilitation, overall revival and strengthening of the sustainable livelihood of the villagers affected by the disaster. Over 1,120 people have been rescued from Tharali and Harshil so far. All right, we'll go across to Dehradun now. DD India's Kanchan Negi joins us from there. Kanchan, what's the latest you can tell us on the progress of the rescue operation and how the teams aim to reach the affected people, because we are hearing that the weather is not favorable?
Yeah, good morning, Abhishek. Well, as per the rescue efforts in the disaster-hit regions of Dharali and Harshil, 442 more people have been evacuated, bringing the total number of rescues to 1,178 so far. They have been airlifted by ITBP helicopters to Matli helipad and to Chinyalisore using Mi-17 Chinook and ALH helicopters. Last night there were rain showers, and today as well the weather is cloudy and a bit of humid as well. Talking about the progress of the rescue operations, Abhishek, authorities are closely monitoring the weather, awaiting clear skies to resume full scale of air operations from Matli helipad to the affected zones. In the meantime, domestic and foreign tourists are being transported safely from Matli and Chinyalisore by state-run bus services to their onward destinations. Adequate supplies of medicines, milk, rations and clothing have been delivered to Harshil and Dharali. CM has further informed that power supply in Harshil has been partially restored with the activation of Uttarakhand Renewable Energy Development Agency's powerhouse, while UPCL teams work to repair the damaged transmission lines. Want to add on that the mobile connectivity has been restored and two 125 kV generator sets have reached the disaster zone. Road connectivity is being repaired at war footing pace with the Bailey Bridge under rapid construction at Gangani. Landslide affected roads are expected to be restored soon, and by Tuesday, likely by Tuesday itself, a complete road link to Harshil is anticipated. Abhishek.
Also, Kanchan, a 3-member committee has been formed for rehabilitation efforts. The committee is expected to submit its preliminary report next week.
Yeah, Abhishek. Well, in a decisive step towards ensuring the swift and effective rehabilitation of families affected by the Dharali Harshil disaster, the Uttarakhand government has constituted a 3-member high-level committee under the chairmanship of the Revenue Secretary. Basically, the panel includes the Revenue Secretary IAS Surendra Pandey, CEO Uttarakhand Civil Aviation Authority IAS Ashish Chauhan, and Additional Secretary Finance IAS Himanshu Khurana. Basically, the committee's mandate is clear, Abhishek, to assess the scale of loss, identify families requiring relocation, and prepare a comprehensive plan for the rehabilitation. This includes evaluating the damage to homes, the infrastructure, and livelihoods, with special focus on those whose houses have been completely destroyed. CM has directed the panel to work in close coordination with the district administration, relief agencies, and local communities to ensure that the response is not just immediate but sustainable in the long run. The committee is expected to submit its preliminary report by next week, which will form the basis of targeted relief measures, the financial assistance, and the resettlement plans. Abhishek.
All right, Kanchan, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for your inputs.
Thank you so much.
So, flood prevention and disaster relief operations are in full swing across China, with legions of emergency responders deployed to ensure the safety of millions of people during the ongoing summer flood season. Rescue efforts are underway after continuous heavy rainfall triggered mountain torrents in northwest China's Gansu province, leaving 15 dead and dozens of missing so far. Meanwhile, the seasonal peak of China's flood season continues to threaten other regions. Firefighters battling a forest fire in southeastern Greece face a rapidly spreading blaze that is threatening homes in the towns of Keratia and Palaya Fokaya, about 50 kilometers southeast of Athens. At least one person died and homes and farmlands were destroyed on Friday as wildfires stoked by gale force winds broke out across Greece, from near the capital to regions around the historical site of ancient Olympia. Greece and other Mediterranean countries are in an area dubbed a wildfire hotspot by scientists, with blazes common during hot and dry summers. These have become more destructive in recent years due to fast-changing climate, prompting calls for a new approach. A wildfire in the southern French prefecture of Aude is not expected to be under control until late on Sunday, the regional chief firefighter announced. The fire, which began on Tuesday, is one of the largest recorded in France since 1949. Spread around 40,000 acres, has led to one fatality, the injury of 19 firefighters and 6 civilians, and dozens of homes have been destroyed. French authorities have attributed the fire to the impact of climate change. An orange heat wave warning, the second highest warning level that encourages people to remain vigilant, is in effect for the department until midnight on Sunday. Wildfires also raging in Spain. More than 100 members of Spain's military emergency unit joined firefighters to put out wildfires. Dozens of residents were evacuated as the fire tore through 650 hectares of land. Europe is facing a new August heat wave, and concerns continue to grow over the impact of global warming, leading to extremely dry conditions in forest and bush areas. All right, we are slipping into a very short break. On the other side, more stories. Keep watching DD India News Hour. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Recap of our top stories. Indian Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi puts light on Operation Sindur preparation and execution, describes operation strategy as similar to playing chess. Prime Minister Modi to visit Karnataka today, giving a boost to the state's infrastructure, will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of urban connectivity projects. Ahead of Trump-Putin meet in Alaska on Friday, Vance and Lammy host Ukraine talks, while EU leaders stress need to protect Ukrainian security interests. Wildfires rage across southern Europe amid record temperatures with thousands under evacuation orders. European leaders on Saturday said the path to peace in Ukraine cannot be decided without Kiev. A joint statement issued by the leaders of Britain, France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Finland and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said they are convinced that only an approach that combines active diplomacy, support to Ukraine and pressure on the Russian Federation to end their illegal war can succeed. The statement was made a day after US President Donald Trump said he would meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska on August 15 for Ukraine conflict. And British Foreign Minister David Lammy and US Vice President J.D. Vance met Ukrainian and European allies in Britain on Saturday to discuss Ukraine peace talks. Lammy and Vance met with heads of the Office of the President of Ukraine, Andriy Yermak, and Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, Rustem Umerov. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer also spoke to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky ahead of the security meeting to discuss Trump's proposals for peace ahead of talks with his Russian counterpart in Alaska next week. And President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday that the meeting of security advisors from Ukraine and its partner countries in Britain was constructive, adding that Kiev's arguments were heard and taken into account. He reiterated that the path to peace for Ukraine should be determined together and only together with Ukraine.
Були перемовини безпекових представників Сполучених Штатів Америки та Європи. Україна, Сполучені Штати, віце-президент Венс, Британія, Франція, Німеччина, Італія, Фінляндія, Польща. Зустріч була конструктивною. Наші сигнали всі передали. Наші аргументи чують. Небезпеки враховують. Шлях до миру для України має визначатися разом і тільки разом з Україною.
While India has welcomed the understanding reached between the US and Russia for the meeting in Alaska on 15th August, MEA said in a statement that the meeting holds the promise of bringing to an end the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and opening up the prospects for peace. It added that, as Prime Minister Modi has said on several occasions, this is not an era of war, and so India endorses the upcoming summit meeting and stands ready to support these efforts. Now, tens of thousands protested on Saturday in Israel's capital Tel Aviv, urging an end to the Gaza conflict and the release of 49 hostages. As Israel's security cabinet approved a major operation to take control of Gaza City. The security cabinet's decision, approved on August 8, sparked widespread criticism as nations push for sanctions against Israel. Prime Minister Netanyahu insists the goal is to dismantle Hamas and not to occupy Gaza amid rising international tensions. And amid growing international criticism of Israel's military actions in Gaza and as global attention focuses on the starvation on the Strip, protesters in Santiago and Buenos Aires were seen marching against the escalation of Gaza conflict and against Israel's security cabinet's decision. The protests in Chile and Argentina also called for sanctions against Israel. Now, Iran on Saturday vowed to block the Trump route for international peace and prosperity, or TRIP, a US brokered corridor through Armenia linking Azerbaijan to its Nakhchivan exclave and Turkey aimed at boosting regional trade. The deal, signed by Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev and Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan at the White House, seeks to end decades of conflict. Iran's advisor Ali Akbar Velayati called it a graveyard for Trump's mercenaries, citing security concerns. Although Russia was excluded from the talks, it called for regional solutions, while Turkey welcomed the accord. Unresolved details, including Armenia's constitutional amendments, may hinder lasting peace. Now, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar called the Armenia-Azerbaijan peace treaty reached in Washington an important achievement for dialogue and diplomacy that India advocates. In a post on X, Jaishankar also said he spoke to his Armenian counterpart Ararat Mirzoyan and congratulated him on the development. At a White House peace summit on Friday, leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan signed an agreement aimed at ending decades of conflict. And supporters of former Chad Prime Minister Success Masra protested in N'Djamena on Saturday after he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for hate speech, xenophobia and inciting a massacre. Masra, a key opposition figure and critic of President Mahamat Idris Deby, was convicted for his role in intercommunal violence that left 42 people, mostly women and children, dead in Madakau on May 14. The court also ordered him to pay a fine of about 1.5 million euros. His lawyers denounced the ruling, calling the trial politically motivated and lacking evidence. Masra was arrested 2 days after the violence and tried alongside nearly 70 others. Protesters from his Transformers party gathered following the verdict and announced Bedumra Korje as interim party leader. Now, Venezuela's National Assembly declared unwavering support for President Nicolas Maduro on Sunday, rejecting a U.S. bounty raised to $50 million for his arrest on drug trafficking charges. The U.S. accuses Maduro of leading the cartel of the Suns, alleging ties to narco-terrorism and groups like Tren de Aragua. Venezuela's Foreign Minister Juan Gil called the bounty a pathetic propaganda stunt, accusing the U.S. of meddling. The move strains U.S.-Venezuela relations, already tense over disputed elections and sanctions. Allies like Russia and China may bolster Maduro, complicating international efforts to address Venezuela's economic and political crisis.
Rechazamos las absurdas y desesperadas acciones anunciadas por la Fiscalía de Estados Unidos de América, a todas luces ilegales y sin ningún tipo de asidero real, más allá del intento de agresión delirante contra el presidente constitucional de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro Moros, y contra nuestro pueblo rebelde y valiente.
1 week ahead of the Bolivia's presidential election on August 17, officials and volunteers prepare electoral suitcases containing essential materials for the operation of a polling station in the country's largest city, Santa Cruz. Jorge Tuto Quiroga, presidential candidate of Bolivia's Libre Alliance Party, concluded his campaign in El Alto on Saturday, becoming the first candidate to wrap up a week before the first round of polling. He expressed his ambition to transform Bolivia into a global lithium powerhouse and pledged a radical overhaul. Bolivia is currently grappling with a severe economic crisis marked by soaring inflation, dwindling foreign exchange reserves and fiscal deficits. The country's international bonds have rallied as investors hope for a political shift following the presidential election, which could potentially lead to an International Monetary Fund program. Now, Bangladesh's Chief Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasiruddin on Saturday said that the upcoming 13th Jatiya Sansad or the National Parliament elections will be held in the first half of February next year. Talking to reporters on Saturday afternoon following a meeting with the Rangpur Divisional Administration, the CEC said the Commission is actively coordinating with divisional and local election officials to ensure smooth holding of the polls. The CEC said that no opportunity will be given to create any chaos in the upcoming 13th Jatiya Sansad elections. The law enforcing agencies will be vigilant in this regard, reports Bangladesh Sangbad Sanstha. Earlier on August 4, the Election Commission issued a press release announcing that the draft voter list would be published on August 10th. Following necessary corrections, the final voter list is scheduled for release on August 31st. An international crew of 4 astronauts returned safely to Earth on Saturday after spending nearly 5 months aboard the International Space Station, landing in a SpaceX capsule off the coast of California. The spacecraft flashed down at 8:44 a.m. local time, marking the end of NASA's 10th crew rotation mission under its commercial crew program. After splashdown, the capsule carrying U.S. astronauts Anne McClain and Nicole Ayers, Japan's Takuya Onishi and Russian cosmonaut, was retrieved by a SpaceX recovery vessel and hoisted aboard, allowing the astronauts to breathe Earth's air for the first time in months. The crew is now en route to Houston, where they will reunite with their families. While aboard the ISS, the astronauts conducted a range of scientific experiments, including research on plant growth, cellular responses to gravity, and the effects of microgravity on human vision. And humanoid robots took center stage at the major robotics exhibition that opened in Beijing, as more than 200 companies unveiled over 1,500 cutting-edge technologies at the 2025 World Robot Conference. China's humanoid robotics sector has grown rapidly in recent years, with 50 manufacturers presenting their latest innovations at the 5-day event. Among them is UB Tech, the first humanoid robotics company listed in Hong Kong. Its robots are already at work in BYD and Zeekr factories, sorting parts, hauling loads, and even swapping their own batteries. UB Tech's Zhang Yu said humanoid robots can ease physical strain in repetitive tasks on factory floors. Advocates say the robot's human-like form allows them to blend into existing workspaces, but engineers admit their dexterity and speed still fall short of human capabilities, keeping them out of homes for now. All right, still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. The Indian women's team storms into semi-finals of the Asia Rugby Under-20 Sevens Championship. India marks World Biofuel Day, showcasing its rapid strides in clean energy. And World Lion Day today, a global reminder of why the king of the jungle needs our protection. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. India marks World Biofuel Day, showcasing its rapid strides in clean energy. Ethanol blending has jumped from 1.5% in 2014 to nearly 20% in 2025, cutting emissions, boosting rural incomes and saving 85,000 crore in forex. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya with this report.
बायोफ्यूल सिर्फ विज्ञान नहीं है, बल्कि वो मंत्र है जो 21वीं सदी के भारत को, और न सिर्फ भारत को, पूरे विश्व की मानव जात को नई ऊर्जा देने वाला है.
The world is waking up to the climate crisis and the urgent need for cleaner energy. In India, the shift to the biofuels has become not just an environmental goal, but a rural revolution. Biofuel, derived from the plant biomass and animal waste, is more than just an energy source. It is a lifeline for sustainable growth. From reducing emission to creating jobs in rural India, biofuels are changing the narrative. Under Prime Minister Modi's leadership, ethanol blending has seen a dramatic rise from just 1.5% in 2014 to 12% in 2023, cutting down nearly 42 million metric tons of carbon emissions. India's 2018 National Biofuel Policy set a target of 20% ethanol blending by 2030. But the country is ahead of the curve, already achieving 19.6% by January this year. This has saved India a whopping 85,000 crore rupees in foreign exchange and supported rural livelihoods by creating demand for agricultural waste as feedstock. The impact: reduced pollution, better farmer incomes, and carbon saving equivalent to planting 175 million trees.
With biofuels powering both environmental goals and rural prosperity, India's push towards a cleaner energy is setting new global benchmarks. In this World Biofuel Day, let it be a reminder how sustainable choices today can fuel a greener, stronger tomorrow. With camera person Ajay Kumar, this is Tapush Bhattacharya for GD India from Delhi.
All right, sports updates now. We'll start with rugby. The Indian women's team stormed into semi-finals of the Asia Rugby Under-27s Championship in eastern Rajgir town. After defeating Kazakhstan in their first match, India thrashed the United Arab Emirates in the second clash to advance to the last four. Captain Bhumika Shukla led from the front with 2 tries. Vice-captain Tanushree Bhosle added 1 and Muskan and Anshu completed the scoring against the Emirates team. The result ensured a semi-final berth before the team's final pool match of the day against Hong Kong, China. On the other hand, the Indian men's team failed to impress with their performances. Now they'll face Kazakhstan in the race to finish 5th. And Rishabh Yadav clinched India's first individual medal at the 2025 World Games, securing bronze in the men's compound archery event in China. The 22-year-old outclassed senior teammate Abhishek Verma with a score of 149 to 147 in a high-quality bronze medal match in Chengdu City. Yadav maintained a slender lead from the beginning, showing remarkable composure to finish with 9 consecutive perfect tens. His semi-final run was halted by American Curtis Lee Bronnax. An Indian javelin star, Neeraj Chopra, has withdrawn from the Silesia Diamond League scheduled on August 16 in Poland. The reason for the Indian ace's absence is still not known, while Pakistan's Arshad Nadeem is also absent from the official entry list. The Silesia meet was expected to be first Neeraj Chopra versus Arshad Nadeem face-off since their charge encounter at the Paris Olympics, where Nadeem took the gold and Neeraj settled for a silver. The high-profile clash was in doubt after Nadeem had to undergo surgery on his right calf in London last month. Defending champions Yannick Sinner and Aryna Sabalenka advanced into the third round at Cincinnati Open in the United States. Sinner crushed Colombian Daniel Galán 6-1, 6-1. The Italian won the opening 5 games in 15 minutes as he allowed his 144th ranked opponent little breathing room. The victory in 59 minutes was the fastest of Sinner's ATP career, beating his previous record by 1 minute. Sinner claimed his 22nd consecutive win on hard court. While Sabalenka beat 2023 Wimbledon champion Marketa Vondrousova 7-5, 6-1, Sabalenka needed 54 minutes and a service break in the final game to clinch the opening set. The second set was more of a grind than the score suggested, as she saved 5 break points before securing a victory. In other women's action, reigning Wimbledon champion Iga Swiatek earned an easy opening win over Anastasia Potapova 6-1, 6-4. Poland's Swiatek has reached the semi-finals of the last 2 editions, but she has never played a finale. Now, Manchester United have signed Slovenian international Benjamin Sesko for 5 years. He is the third forward the 20-time English champions have acquired in a bid to overhaul of the Red Devils attack that failed to fire last season. The 22-year-old's arrival from RB Leipzig is reported to be worth up to $99 million. Sesko has scored 16 goals in 41 international appearances. On World Lion Day, India celebrates a roaring success in conservation. Gujarat now hosts 891 Asiatic lions, a 32% rise since 2020. With expanding habitats and growing numbers, the lions' comeback is one of the greatest conservation successes. GD India's Tapush Bhattacharya with this report.
World Lion Day, a global reminder of why the King of Jungle needs our protection. Celebrated every year on August 10th, it's a day to raise awareness about the plight of lions, their shrinking habitat, and the urgent need for conservation. For India, it is also a moment of pride because the Asiatic lion, once on the edge of extinction, is roaring back. According to the latest 2025 census, Gujarat is now home to 891 lions, a remarkable 32% jump since 2020 and a 70% increase in just 10 years.
Recently, we have done the Asiatic lion population estimation, and as per that latest estimate, there are 891 Asiatic lions in the Gujarat state. And for the conservation of Asiatic lions, we do a lot of conservation and management activities in the landscape. As part of the activities, we celebrate the Asiatic World Lion Day celebration in the Asiatic lion landscapes, and it is celebrated on 10th August every year. And in India, we started from 2016 onwards, and first year we did in 3 districts, and lions were last located in Barda in 1879, and now they have again recolonized the area in 2023. So that's an amazing conservation success story. And if you see the Asiatic lion population also, that has been increasing constantly, and that's really a positive and one of the conservation success story about the big cats in the world.
From just a handful in the early 20th century to nearly 900 today, the story of Asiatic lion is one of India's greatest conservation success. But the road must not fade. Tapush Bhattacharya's report, DD India.
Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.